I'm Pastor George Borghardt, and this is another Higher Things video short. The church. That's the subject of today's Higher Things video short. The church is first a where, then a who. A where the gospel is preached in its truth and purity, and a who, those believers who receive that gospel. The church isn't the people. You know, I'm the church, you are the church, we are the church together only. And it's not also only the clergy. The church isn't located only in a certain city or town. Rome, Constantinople, Missouri, Wisconsin, England. The church is where the gospel is preached in its truth and purity, where you hear Jesus Christ and Him crucified for you, where you hear that salvation is not by what you do or don't do, but solely by the merits of Christ, where that is preached, and the sacraments, baptism, the Lord's Supper, Holy Absolution, those are rightly administered according to the gospel, in accordance with the gospel, which means that they're given freely and for the remission of sins and the comfort of troubled consciences. That's where the church is. The church is located first where the gospel is preached and the sacraments are rightly administered. And then it's those believers who are gathered around those gifts. Sheep who hear the shepherd's voice. Dr. Luther says that any 7-year-old knows that the church is sheep who hear the shepherd's voice. It is those who preach and those who hear. Those who preach the gospel and those who receive that gospel. Now, that means there are plenty of places that are called church, which are not really church. Places where people gather together in religious settings, where the gospel is not, where Christ and Him crucified is not preached, and Jesus isn't giving Himself in water, word, and bread and wine, His body and blood. Those places are simply social gatherings, places where people are gathered together for social events or some sort of need for interaction. Where Jesus isn't the center, that can't be church, or not the Christian church. It could be somebody else's church, but not Jesus's. It's sort of like having a party and your birthday party and you're not there, or you're not the subject, or you're not the center of it. Where Jesus is the center, His gospel, His word, His sacraments, where that's given out, and comforted sinners receive that gospel, there's the church. The church, again, not a place, a city, but a place where like Constantinople or Rome, but a place where the gospel is preached in its truth and purity, and the sacraments are given out in accordance with the gospel. Not only people, not only clergy, but where Jesus is giving Himself, His body and His blood, His words, His water, His salvation, and that is freely given and freely received. There you can bank on is the church. Not 2 or 3 gathered, but 2 or 3 gathered in my name. That's church. Have a great week. I'm Pastor George Borghardt, and this has been another Higher Things video short.